There's few things that really piss me off. And I've been taking feedback, and I take guidance, and I take correction pretty damn well. One of my dear brothers told me, hey, shorten the videos up, do one subject, say on subject. Excellent advice. I tend to fly by the seat of my pants and go by the spirit and get carried away, especially, well, it's dark now, but it's after sunset. It's not in the morning. If it's early in the morning, then I will go by what the Spirit does as far as taking me places. And I listen to my videos. Today I didn't take time to do that. I still got to do it on one or two of them. So I can learn from them, and I hear how I start to bring in a subject, and then the next thing I know, I'm down another trail. So I quite often do not finish my thinking. I do enjoy it when I find myself stitching it together in a nice pattern so that you can get it. So this one's kind of a pet peeve of mine because, you see, I really majored in this stuff. I studied the hell out of this stuff. I have incredible experience in the field. And I know of them who have written the books on this stuff, and it corresponds with my experiences. So I'm going to tell you right now, whenever you hear about a study, they find a gene that causes schizophrenia, they found a gene that causes bipolar disorder, they found a gene that causes you to get up in the morning and take a shit. I'm going to tell you, those are almost always fraudulent announcements ahead of time. They're marketing ploys to sell you the latest and the greatest in their patented medications. I'm sorry, folks. This is the reality we live in. They practice sorceries on us, pharmakia, and they do a lot of brainwashing and marketing on us. So what I discovered is every time I saw something that announced, well, we found this gene for this or that, I go look it up and do the research. And then one of my buddies, David Cohen, actually co-authored a book with Peter Bregan. I think Peter Bregan was the lead author, but I'm pretty sure David Cohen carried the water on this one. And the title of the book, no, it wasn't him. It was somebody else. Oh, my God. The guy's in California. He wrote several books that were very good. An excellent psychologist who, unfortunately, did not make a good living at it because he didn't toe the narrative. And I'll remember his name eventually. A wonderful man. He was eking by a living because he didn't go to the mainstream narrative. Ty. I'll remember the name in short order. I bought several of his books. They were that good. Cohen and Bregan wrote Your Drug May Be Your Problem, and they covered how to discontinue the use of psychiatric medications, and I refer people to that. It's a good publication. It's rather unaffordable. The gentleman who wrote it deserved the royalties that they've earned. But every time that there's a study on genetics and the research, they announce it prematurely. And they do that for several reasons. But the big reason is they want to be able to sell you on their technology that they have, the nosology they have, which is freaking defective as hell. Okay? Now, I know what I'm talking about. And I don't speak as an authoritarian, a dictator. I speak authoritatively because I know. And so somebody sent me, a friend sent me, in the Ashkenazi, they found a gene that causes schizophrenia. He said the title got to him. Well, I didn't even need to read the article because I already know the ploy. They've been doing it for years. For years in the newspapers, they carry an article, gene discovered for bipolar disorder, gene discovered for this or for that. The fact is, by the time they get to the end of the research and they've done all of the statistical analyses, it washes out and there's no power. So they always make a premature announcement when they have the data that supports their narrative, their sales pitch, if you want, and they do their best to blame the genes. That's what the title of the book was, by my buddy in California, another psychologist. It's been a long time since I've been in touch with that fellow, maybe 20 years or more. Colbert? I'm going to have to look it up. Anyway, he made a lot of sacrifices to bring the true gnosiology forward. So it's not in the genetics. Now, I'm going to explain the exception to this rule I'm giving you right now. I will be explaining that to you in a whole nother video. It's another topic. But the fact is, they blame the genes. So it gives people an excuse for their bad behavior. It also makes people think, man, I'm screwed. It's in the genes. I can't overcome this. It's for life, just like they say. And I have to take this expensive medicine for life, just like they say. And of course, I'm thinking, okay, the Ashkenazi are looking for an excuse for their bad behavior because they know they're getting caught, or at least the subgroup among the Ashkenazi, I should say, because not all the Ashkenazi are bad or are fake, if you will, fake Jews or of the synagogue of Satan, as expressed twice in the book of Revelations. So you have to understand and think scientifically, and these absolute statements are absolutely trash. So we cannot say that all the Ashkenaz Nazis, as I like to pronounce it, are bad. I know some of my brothers will disagree with me on that, and they can disagree with me on that. But there's a good one or two that slips through at least. But what we really know is that the really bad guys were the ones that came out of Mount Seir about 700 AD and migrated north, carrying their genetics with them. Well, here I am contradicting my argument already. Caught myself. Look, it's really simple. Eve had sex with the fallen angel in the garden named Gadriel, one of the 6 leaders of the fallen angels. There were about 200 of them that gathered on Mount Hermon and made the deal. And so what ended up happening is Eve gave birth to a half-breed, half Adamic DNA and the other half fallen angelic satanic DNA. I regard Satan as a class of angel. And so those are the people that we're dealing with. And that is in the DNA. But it's not just one gene. And it certainly, well, I hate it when I contradict myself. But here I am. I'm always brainstorming. I'm always being as honest and open, as transparent as I can be with you. So when you are hearing, and this is more of a, and I'm going to entitle this, Blaming the Genes. That's the name for this video. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Every time they make the announcement prematurely before they've done some of the data. They've done some of the statistics, and the data shows it to a certain power, if you will, which indicates that there's an effect, that they're actually finding an effect and they've got onto something. But by the time they go all the way through it, it always washes out. Never fails. It washes out. And so all of that stuff where you say it's genetics, and you try to blame it on the genes, or you try to tell people, well, I got it from my parents, and you want to blame your parents for it, I got news for you. You really probably can't do that. Now, there is Prader-Willi syndrome, which is genetic as heck, and it's one of the weirdest things on the whole planet. And I'm one of the few people that have been exposed to that stuff. And, whoa, baby. I mean, that's genetic. I didn't get to hang out for them very long. I might have discovered another path for it. But a lot of the stuff they're saying is genetic is actually from the toxins. Mostly the spiking of foods in processing with heavy metals, particularly manganese and aluminum, but particularly manganese, because it causes schizophrenias and bipolar disorders. Oh, and what's that other thing I forget? Autism. Actually, I look at autism as a catch-all. 2 MD holistic physicians licensed in the state of Arizona told me that it was caused by manganese spiking in the food, accumulating in the basal ganglia. I do not believe that. I don't believe it's the only path. And I know that it is a path for sure. I got too much experience with that one. May Yahweh bless.